How are you, dear families of my channel? Welcome to my class, and I'm going to show how to calculate the theoretical, actual, and percentage yield in this class. Theoretical yield means the calculated amount of yield or the product of a given chemical reaction. Actual yield means the experimentally measured value of the product, and percentage yield will be calculated based on the ratio of the actual yield to theoretical yield and multiplying the result with 100. Because of some exposure to different situations, the practical yield will be more of the time less than the calculated amount or the theoretical amount of the yield. The measured amount of the product obtained in any chemical reaction known as actual yield, and the actual yield is experimentally a measured value of the yield of the product, whereas the theoretical yield means the calculated amount of the product. The theoretical yield is the calculated amount of the product that will be obtained by the calculation using the mass problem method. The percentage yield is the ratio of the actual yield to the theoretical yield and multiplying the result with 100, and will be presented by the formula of this one. Percentage yield is equal to actual yield over theoretical yield and multiplying the result with 100. Example: what is a percentage yield or percent yield if 24.8 grams of calcium carbonate is heated to give 13.1 grams of calcium oxide? The solution looks like the following. The actual yield of calcium oxide given in the problem is 13.1 gram. Therefore, you should determine the theoretical yield using the mass problem method or the mass problem solution method. This is the mass given for calcium carbonate, 24.8 grams, and the molar mass of or the total mass of calcium carbonate for this reaction is 100 grams, and because there is no coefficient, and the required, that is X, that is the mass to be calculated for calcium oxide produced over the molar mass or the total mass of calcium oxide is 56, because calcium 40 plus oxygen 16, 56. Therefore, set up the proportion like this one. This means X over 56 is equal to 24.8 over 100, and X is equal to 13.9 grams. It is the theoretical yield of the calcium oxide. Therefore, what I'm going to do is percentage yield. Percentage yield means actual yield given, this is 13.1 over the theoretical yield is 13.9, and multiplying the result with 100, which is equal to 94.2%. This is just showing the production technology or the situations involved in the reaction environment is very good, because the yield is highest, greater than 94%. Question 1. Let's say, when 21 grams of aluminum metal reacts with oxygen, 20.8 grams of aluminum oxide is produced. The product formed practically measured amount is 20.8 grams. What is the percentage yield of the aluminum oxide? First, find the theoretical yield of aluminum oxide as follows. That means the given mass is belonging to aluminum metal, which is 21.6 grams, and the total mass of aluminum is equal to 4 times the atomic mass of aluminum, 27, and theoretical yield, that is X, you can say X, or theoretical yield over the total mass of aluminum oxide, which is 204. Therefore, total theoretical yield is equal to this 21.6 times 204 divided by 108, which is equal to 40.8 grams of aluminum oxide is produced. This is the theoretical yield because the calculated value. Therefore, the percentage yield is calculated as such. That means actual yield over theoretical multiplying the result with 100. Therefore, percentage yield is equal to the actual yield, which is already given as this one, 20.8 over 40.8 is the calculated yield, and multiplying by 100 gives us 50.98. Question 2. When 14.5 grams of sulfur dioxide reacts with 21 grams of oxygen, what will be the theoretical yield and the percentage yield of the reaction if the actual yield given is 12 grams? Therefore, you set up the equation like this one: 14.5 grams of sulfur dioxide reacting with 20 grams of oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. Therefore, first you should identify which one is limiting reactant. After you identify limiting reactant, you will calculate the theoretical yield of sulfur trioxide, and finally you'll calculate the percentage yield of sulfur trioxide. Therefore, first step, find the number of mole of these substances, this one and this one, to identify which one is limiting reactant. Number of moles of sulfur dioxide is equal to 14.5 divided by the molar mass of sulfur dioxide. That means 32 plus 32, 64, which is equal to 0.23 mole of sulfur dioxide. And that of oxygen is the mass 21 divided by 32 molar mass, which is equal to 0.66. Okay, then the mole ratio of each substance will be calculated. Mole ratio means number of mole divided by the coefficient, which is equal to 0.12. Whereas the mole ratio of the oxygen is itself, because the coefficient of oxygen is 1. That is, this number divided by 1 means itself, the number itself. Therefore, limiting reactant is sulfur dioxide. And we will determine or calculate the theoretical yield of sulfur trioxide, and then finally the percentage of sulfur trioxide based on this limiting reactant sulfur dioxide. Theoretical yield first will be calculated. Then this is just the theoretical yield over the coefficient times the molar mass of sulfur trioxide is equal to 14.5 over the molar mass times 2 coefficient of sulfur dioxide, which is the theoretical yield is equal to 14.5 times 160 divided by 128, which is 18.125 grams of sulfur trioxide is theoretically produced. This theoretical calculation value. But the percentage yield is the yield which shows the production system, and the actual yield is already given. That means the actual yield is 12, and the theoretical calculated value is 18.125. Multiplying the result with 100 gives us 66.21% of the sulfur trioxide is the percentage yield of the product. This is the class. If you don't have any question, you can write your comment, and don't forget to like and share.